Hello and good morning, friends. Welcome to the CEC-UGC live lecture. Dear friends, with our another lecture on human resource management, we would like to tell you all that today we would be discussing on job changes, promotion and transfer. So dear friends, we would like to tell you all that for this very discussion, we have once again a dynamic professor and author, Dr. Namita Rajput. Dr. Namita Rajput is Associate Professor in Department of Commerce, Sri Aurobindo College, University of Delhi. Dr. Rajput keep on visiting different colleges and universities where she exchange knowledge, transfer information so that it becomes easier for the seekers to attain maximum knowledge. So, dear friends, let's take advantages from our experiences and let's try to understand the topic job changes, promotion and transfer. So, without wasting any time, I would like to welcome our guest, Dr. Namita Rajput. Dr. Rajput, welcome to the lecture.
Good morning, friends. So, today's lecture would be on the job changes, promotion and the transfers, which is also a key area in the human resource management. Now, as you all know, we are living in a very dynamic and contemporary world in which if we have the rigid structure in front of us, it will be very difficult to carry on with the series, with the working series, and the flexibility is the essence for the success of the organizations. So, job changes becomes mandatory in that case. If you want to attain the success, you need to have a flexible system in terms of the organizational structure of the modern contemporary organizations. So, when you say about the flexibility in the workforce, it is definitely a very necessary condition to cope up with the changes in the environment and taking care of the changes in the organization also, because whatever are the changes which are taking place in the environment, similarly it has a straight spillover on the working of the environment also. So, when an employee moves from one job to another job, it is called as job change. Now, when he leaves the organization, it is external mobility, and if there are changes within the organization, it is internal mobility. So, this particular lecture will be giving you some insights upon what is an internal mobility, what is an external mobility, owing to what reasons the organization go in for transfer, owing to what reasons the organization go in for promotion. So, all these issues are very vital for the working of the organizations. So, when the organizational people are changed from one job to another job, we call it as a internal mobility. So, when you talk about the internal mobility, there are two types: either a person is promoted or a person is demoted. So, similarly, when there is a transfer of an employee from outside the organization, that is when he leaves the organization and joins some other organization, we call it as a external mobility. So, when you talk about the external mobility, it could be a retirement, it could be a resignation, and it could be a termination of the services of the employee from the organizations. So, let us have now look on the detailed aspects of the purpose of the job changes, that is why the job changes takes place. So, let us have a look on this. The flexibility in the workforce is necessary to cope up with the changes requirement of the organization. And when an employee moves from one job to another job within the organization through transfer and promotion and demotion, it is termed as the internal mobility. And whereas the external mobility takes place through the retirement, resignation and the termination, and when the employee leaves the organization. Now, when you talk about the purposes of the job changes, in the modern day corporations, the job changes takes place due to the following reasons. There are rise in the jobs because of the changes in the technology. As you all know, there is a changes in the technology on the blink of the eye. So, when the changes of the technology takes place, definitely the structure becomes flexible and you cannot carry on with the same structure for carrying on the organizational activity. So, you need some changes and the restructuring in the organization because of the technological changes which are taking place in the organization. Secondly, there are a lot of redesigning of the job, regrouping of the job because of again the changes which are taking place in the environment, and of all there are changes in the organization structure also because of which the job changes takes place. So, these are the purposes of the job changes. Now, definitely every now and then there are lot of important issues which are happening around the organization. We have the macro environment, we have the micro environment. The micro environment affects the organizations within the policies, and the macro environment also affects the external policies of the organization. So, because of the changes which are taking place on the political front, on the social front, on the technological front, judicial front, legal framework, etc. And of course, because of the multinational corporation culture, which is happening around, and we have a global culture these days because the geographical boundaries are no more there. So because of all these changes and under the backdrop of the statement which I made, so there is a strong need for the talented workforce, which is definitely the need of today. So when we require the talented workforce and the new workforce, so there is definitely a strong need for the restructuring and the regrouping of the activities. So when there are changes in the government policies, it affects your organization. When you have to introduce certain automated new methods, again you have to reorganize the structure of the organization, because nowadays the people are not well versed with the automated workforce, so they are supposed to be given certain kind of the training sessions, etc., so that they are well versed with the type of the system and the type of the automated concept which is going to be introduced in the organization. Nevertheless, because of all these changes which are taking place, there is definitely a strong need for everything to be restructured, revisited and reorganized, and definitely then the impact is on the job changes. So definitely a person who's given training will now be promoted to some other section, because now he is capable enough to handle the type of the work which he was not able to do in the yesterdays. But yes, now he's given the training sessions and he's efficient enough to take care of the new types of the work in which the training was imparted to him. So definitely every time it is very difficult for the organizations to always allow the new incumbents to come and join the organization, because it involves a lot of cost. But yes, if the training sessions are imparted to them, or some kind of the actual practical experience is being experienced by these existing employees, then of course it becomes most cost effective strategies for the organization. So sometimes the new incumbent would be allowed and sometimes the existing workforce will be trained. Again, it depends upon your budget, and again it depends upon which type of the training and which type of the stringent activities would you now like to grow, and whether there is a growth and the diversification plan for the organizations in the future endeavors or not. So there are so many factors and the parameters owing to which the decisions would be taken by the organizational people who are actually responsible for taking the decision making process. So definitely we need new jobs, we need new people, we need new talents. So job changes becomes a very vital aspect in the culture of the organizations and in the working of the organizations. Now, what are the purposes of the job changes? They are as follows. Let us have a look on this. It helps in organizational efficiency. The changes in the job positions help to improve the efficiency of the organization, number one. Number two, meeting the employee needs. That is, sometimes an employee may desire to work in a very friendly environment or in a different department. Therefore, it is essential for an employee to change his job position to satisfy his own needs. And the last is ensures discipline in the organization. A job change acts as a tool of disciplinary action in the organization. So when you talk about these kind of organizational and job changes in the organization, definitely it improves the organizational efficiency, because you are now promoting or demoting or giving a transfer to the employee who is actually fit to that particular job. And of course, it meets the employee needs, because if I am working in an organization and I do not wish to work in particular department, and that is causing me a lot of pain and discomfort, and maybe I have acquired certain new skills and the different qualities which are required to complete that particular job. So definitely the organizational people should help me in promoting or demoting me or giving me a transfer from one department to another department. So there could be a number of reasons because of which the job changes takes place. So it facilitates the efficiency, and definitely it helps in meeting the employee needs in case he needs a transfer or a promotion. So owing to which he will acquire new skills and he would add to his qualifications also, because he now wants to be on a higher level in the organizational hierarchy, and he wants to be a decision maker rather than a decision taker. And of course it can be because of some disciplinary issue also, because nowadays the corruption is going up, and if you are linked with particular seat in the organization, so there are chances for you to be more corrupt. I'm not talking about in general, but yes, there are certain people who are into these corruptive activities, and nevertheless if the doctrine of indoor management is implied, and the veil is unveiled by certain people, and they come to know about the irregularities which that person is doing. So definitely, as a punitive action, as a disciplinary action, his particular position would now be changed, and he would be either promoted, not promoted because this is not a kind of an incentive, he would be demoted to some lower department and could be even thrown out to a particular job which is in remote area, so that he cannot continue with his malpractices and his misdeed and misconduct. So now let us do the types of the job changes which can take place. So let us have a look on this. So the first particular and very important job change is a transfer. So when you talk about the transfer refers to the changes in the job assignment by an employee from one position to another position without changes in the responsibility and the level of the pay. That is, when an individual is transferred from one position to another position, his the level in which he was earlier there will now be the same. That is, there will not be any kind of a change in his level and the position in the hierarchy, organizational hierarchy, and of course there would not be any kind of change in his monetary takeaways also. That is, the salary which he was drawing earlier would now be the same in this case. So this is a kind of a meaning of the transfer. So this involves a same level of hierarchy, a same level of knowledge and skills required to perform a particular job, and it could be initiated by an organization and it could be initiated by an employee as well. On request of an employee, the organizational people would help him in giving him a transfer from one job to another job. And this transfer could be permanent, it could be temporary also. Because sometimes the people are not required because of certain the types of the business in which different countries you are doing. There is a holiday going around and the business is damned. So maybe because that person is very worthwhile for the organization, so maybe for 1 month he could be transferred to some very active department which is active for throughout the year, so that we are able to take the best fruits of his services because he is efficient enough to handle the other kind of jobs also. So in this case the transfer would be temporary, but yes, it could be a permanent transfer also. So there are two types of transfer. One is a permanent and the other is a temporary transfer. So basically the job position is changed, the job title remains the same, the salary remains the same, the organization remains the same. So it could be done with an individual in the same plant or in a different plant, but yes, the level of activities, the role responsibilities, the salary structure, the compensation structure would always be the same in case of a transfer. So maybe an employee must be placed in a job position in which he can be more productive and efficient, and he does not be required in the particular department in which he was earlier there, so that he is able to give his best inputs to the organization, and the organizational efficiency could go up. So what could be the basic reasons or the objectives of transfer? It is very easy to use the word transfer, but you should know that what are the possible reasons because of which the organization takes this very important decision of the transfer. So it could be as follows. According to the human resource policy of an organization, which states that an employee can work in one department or unit for a specified period of time. So this could be one reason, that if the organizational policy permits you to be in organizational department maybe for 2 years, maybe for 3 years, maybe for 5 years, etc. So after the completion of that stipulated period of time, there is an automatic transfer policy which you have to abide by it, and automatically an employee is transferred from one department to another, from one job to another, owing to the policy of the organization. Secondly, the transfer could also be done on the request of the employee. That is, if he wishes to have a transfer, then his wishes becomes the command for the organization, and his wishes are always respected in the organization, and maybe he is allowed to take a transfer from one job to another job in the same organization. Nevertheless, this particular job or the work assigned to an employee is not done efficiently. When he is transferred to the other job, he can utilize his skills much better, because everyone knows his forte, everyone knows his best abilities, and it is perhaps the individual himself who can judge himself that whether this particular job could be done efficiently by him or not. So we should take the individualistic decision very nicely and respect that particular decision, because it is an individual who takes the best decision to work in X department or to work in a Y department. And next is, the transfers frequently take place in the organization when the workload fluctuates timely. Now, for example, if you're working in a department, the workload increases, so definitely you would like to stay there. If the workload decreases, or maybe some related and affiliated department, you would be transferred, because in that particular the workforce is less and the work pressure is more, and there are no people who are able to complete that job. So there is a shuffling within the organization depending upon the surplus and the deficient staff in which the particular organization is there. And if the activities demand more people, so maybe you are transferred from one department to another because that department is upcoming and is deficient when you talk about in terms of the efficient workforce in that particular department. So this could be a mutual transfer, because some organizational departments, they are overstaffed. So overstaffing again is a big concern for the organization, and immediate solutions must be given to those people, because otherwise their efficiency will go down, and sometimes they have to face the music in terms of the termination of the particular employee. So overstaffing should be completely avoided, and if there are terms and the conditions of the other departments which suits him, he should be transferred to some other department also. Then the transfers could also take place to provide the greater job satisfaction to the employees and to contribute their best efforts to the organization. And sometimes there are a lot of deficiencies in the other department. There are casual vacancies which are created because of the death, insolvency, or because of certain mental illness or the physical illness of an employee. So definitely the transfers take place at that time also. Now, what could be the benefits of a transfer? So let us have a look on this. Following are the benefits of the transfer. The first is satisfying the employee needs. The transfers can be also initiated on the request of the employees. They may demand transfer due to bad health, family issues, or any other personal matter, and also for the better opportunities in the future, when they want to make their work more challenging and interesting. The second is meeting the organizational requirements. So due to changes in the technology, change in operations, change in the government policies, the organizations might transfer the employees to adjust such changes. And when such changes takes place, there is a demand for a change in the job assignment of the employees. So we have seen here basically the two reasons because of which the transfer takes place, and these are the possible benefits of taking a transfer. The first, it satisfies the employee needs. Now, for example, an employee lives very far from his workplace and it takes almost about 2 to 3 hours as a commuting time. So he puts a request that they have a branch office near their residence, and he could be transferred to that particular plant office or some other office which is very near to his place. And if we adhere to and take care of his and respect his particular need, then definitely it will fulfill the employee need and he would be more motivated workforce for the organization. And a motivated workforce is definitely a big asset for the organization. So we must take care that the needs are satisfied, and this could be given by him to a transfer, giving him a transfer. So this is the first possible benefit of a transfer, that it satisfies the employee needs. Secondly, there could be some organizational commitment, certain meeting of the organizational commitment, which could be only fulfilled if a transfer is given to an employee or many employees. So that must be adhered to. Then let us have now look on the other benefits of a transfer. The next is to utilize the employee talent. When an employee has a desire to work in a very friendly environment or in a different department, so therefore it is essential for an employee to change his job position to satisfy his own needs. So definitely the transfer gives a benefit in terms of utilizing the employee talent, because an individual knows what his talent is, and if he is given a transfer from X department to another department, we are able to take the best advantage of that particular employee talent. The next is to make employees versatile. Now, the versatility is the essence of the success of the modern organizations of today. Why? Because if a person is, if the company keeps a policy of transferring an employee from one department to another. So forcefully he will cope up with the different work culture, with the different activities which are associated and linked with that particular department, and automatically an efficient employee would learn the modern and the various and the diverse ways of completing a particular job which he has worked in various departments. So he becomes now a versatile person because he is well versed with the various and the diverse techniques which are particular to each department. So this becomes a kind of a policy for the many organizations of today, that they keep transferring their employee in terms of giving them a job transfer, and of course giving them a transfer from one department to another make them more efficient and versatile. The next is to avoid conflicts. An organization may transfer an employee from one job to another to avoid conflicts in a particular department. Now, as a matter of fact, every individual is having a very important and a good intellect level. So definitely there is a problem of facing and countering the challenges of the educated workforce, because they apply their own logic, they have their own abilities, they have their own skill sets. So it is very difficult to persuade them on every small and big issues, because they have their own logics. So it is very difficult to maintain a particular type of a consensus when you talk about the educated workforce with us. So this becomes the biggest challenge of today, that we have to satisfy a educated workforce which was not there in the yesteryears, because nowadays we are living in a communication and information technology which is also called as a knowledge era, where on a click of a button the Google Baba is there for us, and we are able to infer and collect any kind of an information on a click of a button and on a blink of an eye. So when you're living in such kind of a world, so collecting and embedding and imbibing any kind of information becomes very, very easy. So definitely to avoid the conflicts, and if you are not able to satisfy the workforce, the best is to resolve the conflicts, best is to give them the transfers, where they cannot be having two bosses in the same departments. If all the people are trying to act as a boss and they are not able to listen, and the conflicts are increasing day by day, so as a matter of resolution strategies, you must transfer these kind of people to various other departments where they could satisfy their particular skills of becoming the bosses, and in terms of solving the resolutions in terms of the conflicts which take place. So now let us have a look on the types of the transfer. The employee can be transferred in the following ways. The first is the production transfer. So let us have a look on this. What is the basic concept of the production transfer? Such transfer is made when the workforce requirement in one unit is declining and the surplus labor are transferred to the other unit or a branch to avoid the layoffs. This type of transfer helps in stabilizing the workforce in the organization. The next is your rotation transfer. This type of transfer is made to broaden the knowledge of an employees and increasing their skills by moving them from one job to another. This is also called as a versatility transfer, which has already been discussed in the previous points. So now let us have a discussion on what is the concept of promotion. As you can see from this particular slide, the person is climbing up the ladder. So this is the basic concept and the meaning of a promotion, that an employee is trying his best level. He's trying to put his best efforts to move on a ladder in terms of the hierarchy of the organization. Now the promotion is a very important concept which will motivate the employee, which will make them happy, and which can even transform them and change their thought level process, that yes, their recognition in terms of their efficiency levels, in terms of their productive levels, in terms of their contribution is being recognized by the management, and as a matter of the annual appraisal they are being promoted, in which the decision making power is broadened and they are now at a very vital and important position in terms of taking the decision making in the organization. So we will do the types of the transfer in the next session. So till then, have a break. Thank you. Hello friends, so in this later part of my lecture I would be concentrating on the promotion. So as we have seen from this particular slide that a human being is climbing up, that is he is putting his lot of best efforts to be on the higher position in the hierarchy of the organization. So getting promotion is a kind of an incentive tool and a kind of a strategy which all the organizations are following these days, because to keep your workforce happy and motivated is very, very important, because ultimately otherwise the organizational people will not put in their heart and soul in achieving the organizational goals, which is definitely a very important activity for the organization. Now promotion could be an upward transfer of an employee, or a lower or maybe a vertical movement of an employee from present job to another job, which includes the higher responsibility, higher status and the higher level of pay. So here I would like to mention here that in the first part of my lecture I talked about the transfer, and the transfer could be a remedial transfer, that is as a part of the remedy which has taken because of certain wrong recruitment policies. We are transferring the employees from one section to another section, but the role, responsibility and the pay structures remaining the same. Similarly, we had a panel penalizing the transfer, that is the panel transfer, in which as a matter of the punitive action because of the misconduct of the employee, you were transferring or giving him a transfer from one department to another. So after having all the basic insights of the transfer, now we are coming on to the promotion. But yes, in the promotion and the transfer there is a basic difference, that here in promotion we are upgrading the employee in terms of the organizational hierarchy. Now he will be giving a better status, better money emoluments, that is in terms of his pay packages and the salary and the compensation is concerned, and definitely he would now be given more responsibilities also. So he will now be a very responsible human being in the organization, which is definitely a part and the parcel of the promotion policy of the organization. So let us have a look on the concept of a promotion here. Promotion refers to the vertical or the upward movement of an employee from the present job to another job, which includes the higher responsibilities, higher status and the higher level of pay. Secondly, it is an assignment which is given to an employee with the higher level jobs better salary and the better working conditions. Simply means it is an advancement of an employee for a better job, for a better status, and usually he is given a new nomenclature and a job title in the organization with a greater number of responsibilities. So there is definitely a very important psychological impact on the mind of the human being, or when you talk about the promotion of an individual or an employee is concerned. If he was given a position of a deputy manager and now he is called as a manager, he knows himself that yes, now he is a better human being. In terms of taking the high responsibilities, he is now vested with more powers, with more authority, with more decision making skills, etc. And similarly, it also increases the benefits which are associated with the job. The managerial authority and responsibility goes up, and definitely the performance is the basis of giving you the promotion within the organization. So let us have now a look on the definitional aspect of a promotion. So let us have a look here. In terms of the career, a promotion refers to an advancement of an employee rank or position in a hierarchical structure. The act of promoting someone to a higher job, grade or rank, or in fact of being so promoted, and the promotion provides an incentive to initiative, enterprises and ambition, minimizes the discontent and unrest, attracts the capable individual, necessitates the logical training for advancement, and forms an effective reward for loyalty and cooperation, and the long service, etc. was given by Yoder. So here we can see that an individual is promoted not just like this. He has to put in his best efforts. His recognition is there in terms of his services which he has already been rendered, in terms of the productivity performance which he has shown in the yesteryears. So after doing a deep analysis part of it, only then a promotion policy decision is taken by the corporate so as to give some kind of more incentives to him, to change his job title, to put him on a higher level in the hierarchy, etc. So, I'm in this particular slide which I'm going to show you now, it gives you a promotion of an employee, just a small example to clarify the level of hierarchy which an individual can climb and become the accounts officer. So here we can see the first level is a clerk. So clerk is an entry level in which definitely he is put into, and the emoluments, the position is a very low grade, and when you talk about it that he is a clerk in an organization, an upper degree clerk, LDC or a lower degree clerk gives a very common kind of an impression, and you would not like to even meet that individual when you're talking about the strategic levels and strategy making policies. But yes, everyone has dreams, everyone has certain career plans, and these career plans are told very much in advance at the time of the entry of an employee that yes, if you join as a clerk, we have a path of the promotion in which you can just straight away climb the stairs, but yes, you have to show a certain level of performance, skills and mindsets, and upgrading your qualification levels and the skill sets. So they are very clear from the beginning itself, and the organization which shows the clear-cut promotion policy right from the beginning for them to have the talented workforce, attracting the talented workforce becomes very easier. So here he joined as a clerk and then he became an accountant after clearing certain number of exams, and now yes, you are an accounts officer. So when you say you are an accounts officer, it means something because you are vested with a lot of enlarged decision making power, and definitely the earlier stages you must have crossed, and that is why you are at a officer level now. So this is a very important examples which was very easier for the students to understand, especially the undergraduate students. They can take away similar kind of an examples when they are writing their examination answers. So let us have now the purpose and the advantages of a promotion, that what kind of purpose is there behind promotion and what are the possible advantages which you can perceive in terms of adopting a good promotion policy. Promotion includes an inbuilt motivational value, and definitely when an individual knows that yes, he would be promoted, and the word promotion signifies itself and envelops a big umbrella which says that yes, now your job title will be better and your finances will be improved, and now you will be given more compensation and good packages in the organization with large number of benefits and the broadened policies which are on your way of success in terms of the pursuing of your career developmental goals. So the second is, it is an advancement of an employee with enhanced status. Definitely when you are promoted, your status would be more in the organization, and when you talk about the status, you are vested with more powers, we are vested with more authority in the organization. It helps in the vertical growth and the self development of an employee also. So earlier you were vested with only one type of a power, so now you can go down and you can go up. That is called as the vertical growth for the organization, and this is a kind of a self development that you can see the lower activities also, and you are able to see the upper level activities as well. So job promotions create an interest and the curiosity in terms of the job and attracting the new employees to join the organization. So it becomes a kind of a retention strategy also, the motivational strategy also, which is definitely a very important and a vital part of the operations of the organization. It also helps in recognizing those people who are doing well in the organization, and you can always give them some kind of rewards in terms of their performance, because as a matter of fact, if they want to get promoted, and if the organizational management is showing such good examples and they are having an award function in the organization, so it becomes a motivation for others also, that he's a star performer of the year. You can announce certain annual awards for the employees who are showing the good performance in territory wise, in department wise, and you can have n number of categories for the awards. So these kind of awards within the organization, and getting a recognition and acclamation across the globe also, because now we are into a multinational corporation, so you can call the people from outside countries who are a part and parcel of your workforce, be it an American, Korean or Japanese, and ask them to be a part of the award function. This is going to be a best endeavor the company can take and motivate the employees and encourage them for a better and a star performance for the coming years to go. It also helps in developing a competitive spirit among the employees, because there is not a jealousy factor, because they have actually shown, and there are testimonials to this effect, that yes, they have performed very well. So in the coming years you can also show your performance and in a similar way without having any kind of enmity with them. So it becomes very important that the competitive good spirit prevails, a sportsman spirit prevails in the organization if such endeavors are being adopted by the company every now and then. Not only this, the promotion, skilled, talented employees can be retained in the enterprise, and they can be even promoted further also as a matter of encouragement given to the employees of the organization. Definitely, to attract the competent employees, if you are making such award functions for the organization, you can always promote on the social networking websites like Facebook, LinkedIn, and there are certain other professional networks also when you talk about the contemporary organizations, in which you can showcase your awards, that yes, we are having n categories of award, and these persons are chosen for these particular type of awards because they have shown a level of performance, and this is the benchmark which we have kept in terms of giving them the award. So this becomes a very encouraging factor for the outside people also. They also get attracted, and they would also understand that the career path, the career goals and the pursuance of this development in terms of the personal growth is very easy if we join this particular organization, because they are actually recognizing the efforts and the performance levels in the coming years to go, and they can also be a part of your organization, because nowadays it is not the work, it is the network which is also playing a vital role in making your organization famous, in attracting the good and the prospective employees to come and join your organization. So now let us have a look on what are the different types of promotion. The first is a dry promotion. So let us have a look on this. When an employee is assigned a higher level of a job without any increase in the salary, it is called as a dry promotion. So as the name suggests, there are no increase in the salary and the financial emoluments of an employee, but yes, he's just given a promotion. He becomes the head with no increment in the salary, but yes, becoming a head of a particular department or heading a particular department is a matter of pride. So it is an automatic and inbuilt motivational strategy also, and it is no cost for the organization also, because it's a dry promotion. So you should have a combination of the various types of the promotion policies, because the word promotion itself is a motivating factor for the employees. So when you talk about the dry promotion, so you should keep implementing and incorporating these kind of changes in the organization, because the dry promotion is not at all a cost for the organization. But yes, it has a very positive spillover on the mindsets of the employees, that yes, now they were not head earlier, but now they are heading the particular department. The second is up or out promotion, as the name suggests. In this type of promotion, employee seeks the employment elsewhere, where he terminates and joins some other organization in a superior position. So as the name suggests, up and out, that is, you are up means you are upper in hierarchy, and your out means you are out of the organization. So up and out promotion is not a very welcome step which are pursued by the organizations of today, because they would be losing the talented workforce. So as a matter of fact, you should try and have the organizations within give them a lot of encouragement in terms of retaining them with good emoluments, salaries, etc. Then we have a promotion, some differences, some vital differences which you all must know as a student of the human resource management, that what is the basic difference between the promotion and upgradation, because they look synonyms, but yes, there is a difference between the two. Similarly, what is the difference between a promotion and a transfer, because they are the key points, the differences of which must be crystal clear. So let us have a look on this. What is the difference between a promotion versus upgradation? Upgradation refers to the increase in the salary of an employee without any change in the job status. So upgradation is just a kind of a dry promotion in which there is no increment of the salary at all. Whereas if you see the promotion, that's a kind of a device in which the salary etc. would also go up, the role responsibility will be larger, and you are able to handle more better and a higher level of jobs in the hierarchy. So this is a basic difference. When you talk about the upgradation of the employee, it is only the grade which is upgraded, not the salary. Whereas if you talk about the promotion, there is a changes in both, that is, you are upgraded also, plus there is an increase in the salary also. The title of the job, the emoluments of the job, the role responsibilities, everything goes a sea change when you talk about the promotion of an employee. Now let us have a difference between a promotion and a transfer, which has slightly been discussed in the earlier part of my presentation. So the transfer implies mere change in the job. There are no changes in the salary, the organization remains the same, but yes, there is a difference in the place where he works. Now he is with X department, earlier he was with the Y department. So this is a basic concept of a transfer. Whereas when you talk about the promotion, your department also changes, you are upgraded in the hierarchy, your level, role, responsibilities also gets a sea change, your job title, your salary structure also will be upgraded. So what are the bases of the promotion? That is, what are the key points which are kept in mind before an individual is promoted from one position to another position? So let us have a look on this. Promotions can be made on the basis of seniority, some on the basis of the merit. In some cases, it is the seniority cum merit. So you can see in this particular slide, the first method is a seniority, that is on the basis of the time spent in the organization. On the basis of the merit, that is, you have to show a particular level of promotion, the performance of the organization. And we can have a combo of the two, that is, you have to see the number of years you have spent in the organization and the level of performance which you are showing in terms of the production levels in the organization. So that's a combination of the two, that is the seniority as well as the merit. So we will be discussing all these one by one in details to have you and give you the basic insights of what is a promotion with the seniority. So let us have a look on this. Now seniority plays a very vital role in the organization, and as a matter of fact, the promotion on the basis of seniority is very important also. It is impartial because it is you have to have a number of years spent in the organization. So you must have seen the different thicks and the thins which the organization has faced. You have seen all the phases, different phases of the organization which they have taken place and how they were able to counter that changes which have taken place in the yesteryears. So you become more experienced, you become more knowledgeable, your wisdom goes up. So it is viable and definitely a very impartial criteria to get your employees promoted on the basis of seniority. So let us have a look on this in detail. Seniority refers to the relative length of the service put by an employee in the organization, it is assumed that a person with a greater length of service in the organizations have more knowledge, more worth, more wisdom, and therefore he must be promoted when you talk about the basis of promotion as a seniority. So let us have now the merits and the demerits of this particular type of the promotion. Number one, in terms of the scheme of the promotion, it is easier to promote on the basis of the length of the service, as the data can be easily found out by the concerned department. And seniority as a basis of promotion, the further points are that this scheme of promotion is very objective and verifiable. Why we say that this particular scheme is objective? Because there are no rooms for whims and fancies, and definitely it is a very clear, crystal clear criteria for a promotion, because everyone knows that yes, Mr. X joined in 81 and Mr. Y joined in 90. So the person who joined in 1981 would be promoted first because he has given a long number of years to the organization and he is becoming a very important input asset and a good criteria for the promotion, because he has seen so many phases of the growth and the some kind of a demise factors in the organization. Every employee of the organization can find their place in the promotion, and you would understand that yes, after 5 years down the line I will also be on the same position, because everybody can visualize that yes, it is on the basis of the length, so one day they will also be at that position. So there is no impartial attitude which is there in this particular, there is no partial attitude in this particular type of a promotion scheme. So seniority perhaps is the best method, and in fact we are also seeking a support from the trade unions also, because they do not wish to have any kind of a partiality, nepotism and favoritism when the policies, promotion policies are concerned. So this particular seniority basis is perhaps one which is also endorsed by and which is also accepted by the trade unions also. Now there are certain limitations also when you talk about the seniority as a basis of promotion. The first is, let us have a look on this. When the employees know that they will be promoted on the basis of seniority, it kills their zeal to perform better and the good results. The efficiency of an organization gets affected due to less initiative by the employees to work harder, and the young, competent and hardworking employees does not want to join such organizations where such system of promotion is followed. Now here the most important aspect and the limitation part of the seniority as a basis of promotion is that because everybody will just try to linger on with the time, they do not wish to put in their best efforts, their zeal to show their performance is also marred, because here the basis is not the performance, here the basis is only the seniority. So that is the basic problem, and it is a very severe problem in terms of the promotion, that nobody strives to achieve the organizational goals in a very nicer way, in a better way, because they feel that by the end of the day and after the completion of X number of years, they will also be promoted. Now the merit refers to, promotion on the basis of merit is perhaps the best method, because here the merit is shown, which also has certain testimonials in this regard, and the persons who are showing the merit can also be promoted after showing the testimonials to this effect. So let us have a look on this. Merit refers to the intelligence, knowledge, skills and the talent of employees, which are measured in terms of educational qualifications and experience, and this method of promotion delivers the following advantages. It promotes the employees to work harder and give their best in their job, which helps them to contribute towards the organizational goals. And when this system of promotion is followed by the organization, it helps to attract and retain the young and the competent employees, and it also helps to recognize the talent and the aptitude of employees working in the organization and maintaining the efficiency. So when you have a comparison of merit on the basis of seniority and the merit on the basis of promotion, there is a strong difference. In the earlier part, the performance level, zeal is marred, because every Tom, Dick and Harry who is a part of the organization will be promoted after completing the length of the service. Could be 8 years, could be 5 years, could be 4 years, etc. Again, it's a policy matter. But when you talk about the merit as a basis of promotion, here it is more important because the persons who are showing a good performance level will only be promoted. So it brings a spark in the young, dynamic and a prolific workforce who are showing the best efforts, who are trying to put in their heart and soul and try to increase and reach onto the higher levels in terms of the performance. So what are the possible disadvantages? Let us have a look. It is not easy task to measure the merit. The favoritism, biasness and trade union pressures may occur in promoting the best performer. The feeling of insecurity in the senior employees may take place when they see the younger employees are ahead of them, and which may lead to any kind of a problem. So here it seems it is very difficult for the older employees because older employees are not that enthusiastic. They are not technological savvy persons, they are not computer savvy persons. So their way of working, their level of performance and their way of thinking, their mindsets, their skill sets is entirely different from the dynamic, prolific workforce, that is the Gen Y. And of course the Gen Y is the plus generation Y is the pulse of the organization of today, because their level of working, their enthusiasm, their speed, nobody can match. And in the coming years of today, we'll be having 60 to 70% of Gen Y who will be a part of the workforce. So their strategies to motivate, to retain, to come, to motivate, etc. cannot be ignored. But yes, we cannot ignore the seniority also. So we can have a combination of the two in which the two different groups can be made because they are entirely not comparable. So we can have one seniority list on the basis of seniority we can pass on some kind of promotion to the senior employees, whereas we can have a combination of the merit based and the seniority, or maybe only a merit based in terms of the younger employees, because the younger employees, the benchmark could only be the performance levels. So seniority cum merit is as a basis of the promotion. So this is a combination of the two, that is you are taking to some extent the seniority also in terms of the senior employees, and you are taking into consideration their merit performance also. So it's a combination of the two in which the best parts and the best points of both the policies are embedded together, and of course the performance level and the seniority level are taken together as a policy matter to promote the particular employee. So let us have a look on this. Both the seniority and the merit based promotions have their own inbuilt weaknesses. To overcome with these, the organizationals follow the seniority cum merit basis of promotion. It helps to establish a balance between the two criteria of promotion, and in this system the promotion weightage is given to both merit as well as the seniority. The employees with good performance record and the minimum qualifications are eligible for promotion. So now we have a concept called demotion. So demotion is that in which an employee is downgraded in terms of the hierarchy, and a downgrading policy can only happen if there is a misconduct, misdeed, and if he is not showing the level of competence because of certain wrong policies he was promoted, so he can now be demoted also as a punishment or as a corrective action, as a rectification step which is taken by the employee. So let us have a look on this. Demotion is a kind of internal mobility in which the reverse of promotion is assigned at a lower level of the job with delegation of employees is assigned a lower level of job with delegation of responsibility and with a lower level of pay. So in the earlier part, when you talk about the promotion, your salary and your position is upgraded, whereas in the case of a demotion it is downgraded. Your salary packages, your pay packages will also be down, and earlier the role responsibilities which was vested in your hands will now be snatched and you will be downgraded to a lower level of position in the organizational hierarchy. So it's a kind of a reduction of the rank owing to the performance of an employee, because he is not showing any kind of a performance and interest in the organization. So why would the management do for him if he is not doing for the management? Because it's a kind of a win-win situation for both if they both show a kind of the effort for each other. When one person is showing a disinterest and is not doing well, is doing some misconduct, so why will he be promoted and to be stayed at the same level? So it is a kind of an action, a corrective action which the management takes to downgrade the employee to a lower level in which the salary, the status, everything will be lower in this case. And if the company is facing the financial crisis, in such situation also there is a chance of demotion. So nevertheless, is only the promotion which is associated with the organization. Sometimes the organizational budget also does not allow you to promote, so in that case you are demoted also. So there are certain other reasons of demotion, so let us have a look on this. When the introduction of the new methods of operations and processes is there, as a case of disciplinary action. The disciplinary action means the adverse business conditions, incompetence of an employee, the technological changes. So let us now discuss the promotion policy, the last topic of today. The organization should establish a very sound promotion policy for the organization, so there are no fingers to be pointed out on the operations of the management, because unless and until we have a crystal clear policy for the promotion, we cannot sustain in the contemporary world. Everybody should have this kind of a feeling that the promotion policy which is adopted by the organizations are very fair, they are free from nepotism, favoritism, etc., and there are no corruptive practices. The corruptive practices do not have any room in terms of the promotion policy, be it merit based, be it seniority based, but yes, the policy have to be very clear, crystal clear, and there should not be any kind of negativities into it. They should be apart. The favoritism, personal biasness and the prejudice should not be should be eliminated from the sound policy, promotion policy. The criteria for the promotion should be very clearly mentioned in the policy, and the human resource management should keep the records of the services and the performance, because in the future they can use these as the testimonials, and since in the modern era we have the Right to Information Act, so anyone can point out on the promotion of any employee at any time. So as a matter of fact, as a sound policy, the organizations must be prepared with all the testimonials in terms of their performance, in terms of their awards, in terms of their the timing of the working, the way of working, the modus operandi of that individual must be properly kept. So the record management should be efficient enough to counter those challenges if somebody points out on the promotion policy of any person is concerned. So the promotion policy plays a very vital role. It should be very uniform and fair, and it should be written and communicated to the organization as a whole, because unless and until it is communicated, people will not put in their best efforts to get promoted. So once it should be on the website of the corporate also, that yes, these are the promotion policies, and in case you have certain future plans for growth and development of yourself, then you must strive to step up these points which are mentioned in the promotion policy of the organization, and the proper counseling sessions must also be underway to help the people in this regard. And the monitoring of the promoted employees is also very essential condition by the superiors to see that whether they have adjusted to the new working conditions or not. So this was all about the promotion policy. I hope the takeaways are good. For any queries, you can contact me. And the Geetika will tell you about the website where you can post your queries. I'm most welcome. I will answer all of these. Thank you so much.
With this note, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much. And yes, dear friends, you can give your suggestions, your feedback in form of questions also. You can mail us at info.cc@nic.in. Very soon, this lecture is going to be uploaded on YouTube, and all the lectures concerning human resource management are already there. So you can access those lectures a number of times you wanted, and afterwards, definitely you can write to us. So, dear friends, we would be meeting again tomorrow and would be discussing on another topic. Till then, take care. Goodbye. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much.